Do you have an air conditioner on your camper and does it trip the generator? I'm gonna show you how to fix that today. All right, now before we get into the fix here, I just wanna make sure I'm not steering you in the wrong direction, because if your generator is too small, you're probably gonna have an issue anyway. So I'm running a 5,000 watt Predator generator. It's an inverter style from Harbor Freight. I've never had an issue with this AC until just recently. So let's get our ladder, hop on the camper, and I'm gonna show you what I found and how I fixed it. Here's our Predator generator. You'll see 5,000 watt inverter style. I typically run the camper off of this 30 amp plug here, and I have no issues whatsoever running the AC. Let's get the camper plugged in here, and I'm gonna show you what the symptoms are. We're gonna start this guy, 124 volts, so we have good voltage output. We're drawing 3.3 amps right now, and I think just the fridge is on. I'm gonna just switch it to fan. All right, fan's running. Let's go take a peek at the load amperage. With the fan running, we're up to 6. Back inside, we're gonna switch it over to cool. Now that should kick the compressor on up in the unit. Okay, so you'll notice that the fan turned off. If you could hear the generator in the background, it ramped up and shut off. All right, now we're back at the generator. You'll see the red overload light came on. So the generator actually tripped out. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna hit the overload, and we're gonna watch this amperage on here. That thing hit probably about 50 amps. We're gonna shut this off, and then we're gonna go on top of the camper and open the unit and do some diagnosis. Our dinette actually has a little slide out here, and I put my ladder on here. I already disassembled this. So there's 4 bolts with washers, or 4 screws with washers. They were Phillips. These are what the screws look like. We have our condenser right here. Here is our compressor. There's our blower fan right there. Just spinning that by hand, kind of a quick little diagnosis, right? It spins freely, so that means the motor's not locked up. Doesn't mean the motor couldn't be bad. And we're just gonna take a quick glance in here, make sure, we don't see any damaged wire anywhere, anything chewed through by mice or anything dumb like that. So behind here is going to be some of the electrical components for this AC system. So we have a few Phillips screws we're going to take out. Also, I want to show you this label here too. AC volts 115, compressor LRA 58, compressor RLA 11.6, and then you'll see minimum circuit amperage 17.9. Our running load is 11.6. We got up to 50 something, which is normal when the compressor first turns on, but that should all kind of come down pretty quickly and prevent that generator from tripping. And what you have on AC units is you have something called a capacitor. Now there's normally either a single or a double capacitor, and what that is it kind of boosts the power going to the fan to start the fan if you have a big fan motor, and also to the compressor. Now if we look at the back side of this panel here, you'll see the circuit on here, and you'll see our wiring. Here's our fan motor, so we have a fan capacitor. Here's our compressor. We have a run capacitor for the compressor. These are the capacitors inside of here. Now I want to give you a safety tip right now. These capacitors do store power, but what we want to do is we want to remove them, and we want to check them to make sure that they're okay. So before we even go to do that, we want to make sure that if your camper is plugged into anything, unplug it. I shut the generator off, so we don't have to worry about that. And what you're going to want to do is take something metal, like an insulated handle screwdriver, and we're going to put that between the terminals on the capacitor to short them out. And what that's going to do is it's going to discharge any power that the capacitor is storing. We're going to do the same thing on the fan capacitor down here. We're going to touch those together. There is a little metal strap on here. Now, depending on the brand AC unit you have, this may look different. The capacitor may be mounted in a different spot. Pull that strap out of the way. We're going to remove our capacitors. Now, if we look at the schematic, you'll see the fan capacitor brown and white and brown. So these schematics are real good. They give you wire colors. So if we look at this guy right here, brown and white and brown, we're going to be extra safe. Short this out one more time. Now, one other thing you're going to need to check these is going to be a digital multimeter that has a capacitive function on it. So we want to remove at least one of the wires. I'm going to take them both out. We have this little capacitor symbol right there. If we hit our yellow button, that brings us to capacitance. Every capacitor has a rating, has a voltage rating and a capacitance rating. So you'll see 370 volts AC and then 7.5 microfarad. So we're gonna put our leads on here and we're gonna see what the meter says. 7.46 microfarad. Now that's well within the percentage. You'll see plus or minus 6%. I think we're close enough where we can say, hey, this capacitor is good. We're gonna remove the larger one here next. That is the run capacitor for the compressor. Once again, we're gonna short these leads out. You notice we have red, white and yellow. Now, if we look back to our schematic here, you'll see yellow is coming to one side, white is coming from the compressor to that side, and then we have a red coming from the compressor also to the other side. This one, we're just gonna remove one lead, and basically that just isolates this from the rest of the circuit. Now we're gonna check this one with our meter, and you'll notice our meter says OL. That's over limit, or it's open. So it's not reading any capacitance on here. And that is a telltale sign of a bad cap, and most likely what the issue is with this AC unit preventing this from starting up and not tripping our generator, since it did work before fine. I'm gonna link these down in the description. I got these on Amazon and they came in within like a day or two. All you need to do is you need to look at your voltage rating, 370 volts AC, and your capacitance. So 45 microfarad. So we got a 45 microfarad here, and this is gonna be our replacement capacitor. So what we're gonna do, just to verify that it's, you know, not an issue with the meter or something weird like that, we're gonna stick our meter leads on here and see what this one reads. And you'll notice the meter's 44.4 microfarad, plus or minus 5%. So that's well within the limits. That is definitely bad. So what we're gonna do to replace this now, since the red wire is already off, we're gonna take that, we're gonna put that on the other side, and we're gonna take our yellow and our white wire, remove both of those, and put those both to that opposite terminal as it was originally on the other one. So these capacitors are about the same age, and it's just like headlights on your car, right? If one goes out, probably want to change the other one. So I also bought the 7.5 microfarad. Even though this is good, we're gonna change it. We'll just hold on to this for like an extra spare. 2 brown wires. We're gonna put those back on now, and then we're gonna mount these back in. And they just kind of sit in there like that. The strap goes around them, and then we had one screw that held all of this in. And then we can tuck these wires back inside. Now, obviously, you know, make sure everything's connected exactly the same way it was before we started. We're gonna leave all of this open, and we're gonna go back down to the generator, start it, and we'll see if we get a different result this time. Start this back up. We're back inside. We're gonna do the same sequence. So we're gonna turn just the fan on. 6.8. Here goes the AC. Notice this time there's no overload light. We're drawing 13.2 amps. Also, you hear the fan is still running, right? Last time the fan shut off because it overloaded the breaker and we lost our power in here. We have cold air blowing out of there now pretty quickly. We're back on top here. So you can see our fan running. You can hear that telltale noise of an AC compressor running. I'm gonna call this fixed. We're gonna shut the generator off. We'll button up the electrical box here, and then we'll get the cover back on, and then we'll test it once more to make sure everything's still good and call it a day. Now that we know this is running, but we're gonna make sure everything's tucked in here real nice, no wires pinched in the cover. Install our screws real quick. That part's done. All right, and then we're gonna put our mounting screws on the back cover here. All right, I'm gonna give this thing a tug and make sure it's on here real good. 26 bucks and a half an hour of my time. I probably saved myself $300-400 not bringing this to an RV repair shop. They're gonna charge you whatever their hourly rate is, plus the price of the parts. Obviously, they're gonna be marked up too. If you ended up having this same exact problem and this was the fix, let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear back from you guys. If you found it useful, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out some of my other DIY videos. I'm here to save you guys money. See you in the next one.